Today we're going to wire wrap a mini crystal ball. It's got a little square at the bottom with the wire wrap and then a twisted design coming up the sides. I've got this beautiful little 2 centimetre opalite crystal ball, and we're going to use the 26 gauge wire for our wire wrap today. For this design we need 4 10-inch lengths of the 26 gauge wire. So I just start out measuring those 4 lengths. Then we can start to make our little wire wrap. Now we've got our 4 little 10-inch lengths there. We can put 2 aside and we're going to start our little wrap with just 2 of them. We're just putting the ends together and then we're going to find the middle. So about 5 inches in. Then we're going to twist our wires. So I pull them apart first so that we can twist equally each wire around each other. So I'm doing 5 half twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On both ends you want the wires open so that they can stay holding your twist in place. And you should have something that looks like this. Now we're going to attach our next little 10-inch length of wire. It actually doesn't matter which wire you attach it to. You can make your square on either side. I tend to just attach it to this top right hand piece. So I place the ends together and then follow it down to the other end where we've done our twist there. From the twist we're going to measure out 1 centimetre and then hold our wires apart, and that's where we're going to do our next twist. Doing those 5 half twists again and then bending both ends of the wire out so they don't unravel. You can start to see we're forming a little square there, so each twist we need to make needs to be pointing in that outwards direction, coming off each corner of the square. So you can see the square in the middle there. You can see as we work around that this piece here is going to be the next piece that we're going to wrap a wire onto. Now with your next length of wire, just putting the ends together and following it back down to your centre square. We're going to do the same again, so just measuring that 1 centimetre along. Then we can pull our wires apart and do our 5 little twists. Making sure you're twisting both wires equally, not just twisting one wire around the other wire. Then following around our square onto the next wires, you can see that these ones here are going to be the next ones that we twist together. You might find your wrap sort of falls across the other side or sits in a different way, but you should be able to work with your wires to fold it open so that you've got this little square shape here, and with the twisted parts coming off each corner. You can see here is the last spot that we need to twist for the last little connection there on our square. You can measure it if you like, but I find I can do it quite easily just by eye to make the nice even little square there with about 1 centimetre down each side. Then we do our 5 little twists. Then you should have something that looks similar to this here with the square in the middle. So you can work with your wires a little bit just to make sure they're in the right spots and it's sitting evenly, and then we can pop our little crystal ball inside the wrap on top of the square there, and we can start to form the wires around the crystal ball there. You need to make sure that that bottom square is small enough that the crystal ball is not going to fall through the middle. That's why we've done it at only about 1 centimetre. So it's going to hold that crystal nice and secure. I find it's really helpful to just secure that wrap on the top of the crystal with a little bit of tape. Just a little piece so that you can still sort of see where the actual square is. Now we're going to start on the side on our next layer of twists. So we need to have a look and see where our twists come down. And then we're going to grab one piece of wire out of each twist, wires that are sitting next to each other. We're going to bring these wires together, and about 1 centimetre along the wires, we're going to twist them together. Again, doing those 5 twists. Then I swap onto the opposite side as well and just bring those 2 wires that are sitting next to each other together, and same thing, about 1 centimetre along, doing your 5 twists. Then we can bring the in-between parts together as well, about 1 centimetre along, and the 5 twists as well. Then we can swap onto the opposite side and do the same 5 twists for that last little connection there on that layer of twists. Your little mini crystal ball should be quite secure in your wrap now. And this next layer of twists is probably going to be a little bit shorter than these ones here, because this part here is the widest part of the ball. We needed to do them a little bit bigger there just to get them around that bulky part of the ball in the middle. So the next layer, we do the same thing again. We take 2 wires that are sitting next to each other and we do our 5 twists. This one will no doubt be a little bit shorter than 1 centimetre. Try and make them even on each side, and you can just twist them together until they're sort of coming up to the centre there. This is going to hold your little crystal ball secure. This is a great technique for wire wrapping. You can wrap lots of different shapes and sizes of crystals. Just bringing those wires together, pulling them nice and tight so that they're forming a nice strong connection there. Little bit fiddly at the top there, but I've just done the 5 twists on all 4 little connections there at the top. We can remove our tape now because that little crystal should be held in place well. Then we're going to work on our bail. I'm going to start by just bringing these wires out of the way. Then I'm going to bring 2 opposite wires in together and twist them around each other, and then do the in-between wires into the middle and twist them around. Just keep bringing the 2 wires in until you've got all of the wires in a centre twist, which is going to be a really nice secure little way to finish the top of your wire wrap there. It can get a little bit messy here with all these wires going everywhere, so it really doesn't have to be in a set order with them. It just matters that they're all being pulled into the centre, and then you're going to have a nice strong little connection there, and they're all pulled in together. Then we're just going to twist this whole bunch of wires together, and it's going to pull it down nice and tight and strong so that the wire's secure and sitting right down on the little crystal. I just grab my pliers there and twist the whole bunch of wires around. You want to make sure that you're actually twisting all the wires around each other, that you're not just twisting 2 or 3 wires around the straight ones. When you've twisted that up and all the wires are nice and tightly twisted together, we're going to start to wrap them around to make our little bail. I'm just going to start at the top of the little ball there and bend the wires one direction, and then I just put my round nose pliers on the other side of the bend, sort of in the centre of the ball, just leaving a couple of millimeters between your pliers and the crystal ball as well, so that you can wrap around underneath. And then we can bring this twist of wire around the round nose pliers and down around the bottom of the bail there. I just bring it around 2 times to give it a nice strong wrap around there. Then we can snip this little tail off. And I'm going to just use my pliers to crimp it in nice and tight. Make sure there's no sharp wires sticking out and that it's all in nice and secure. Then with our pliers there, we can just tidy up our little loop there. Make sure your bail is nice and straight and round and that you're happy with it. And you should have a nice little wrap that looks something like this. You can work with your wires a little bit. Make sure they're all straight and sitting how you like them. And the square is a nice defined square at the bottom. Then you can hang it on a chain and enjoy it.